Hey y'all, and welcome back to more Dicing with Death. So, standing around in this barn with all these possible pirate figures, you're getting a real sense of discomfort and unusualness.
Just
The
comfort. I thought I was at a theme park.
No, no theme park here. The ground opens up, as I said before, or not opens up, but reveals a trap door, and the pirate gestures you towards it with his saber. Arr. Head down
I,
into the hold.
I'm curious as a player, but I don't think Farissa wants to go down the hole.
He starts to get a
Backing
little bit close,
slowly
like he
towards
starts
it.
walking towards you, sword in front of him.
I'm still brandishing the thwacking stick.
All right, how close do you let him get?
I'm like backing slowly towards it. And I was like, I don't think I want to go down there. Is there like a
Not a
ladder
lot
or?
of people want to go down. I mean, the trapdoor is still closed.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand your not wanting to go down there, but I'll need you there for myself.
So I am able to turn undead as a priest,
You
correct?
are.
Or control undead or something of the sort.
What are
Have
you
I been
gonna do?
instructed in these ways at the church? Is that how it goes? Or is it a
You
power that I
found
know
the
that?
those teachings of Bellum, which is kind of where when you kind of fell to the dark side, so to speak. Um,
Yeah.
and they taught you about the ways. You've never actually done it, but you understand
Hmm.
the like. You think you know how to turn undead. This would be an interesting test of your abilities, though.
Hmm. Yeah. So fuck it. Let's do it. I'll be like, so he's like inching me towards, and I'll be like, no, no, I'm not going down that hole. And I brandish my holy symbol, and I say, you go down the hole. And let's see. Let's roll some turning undeads. Pulling up the table before I roll, just so I know what to expect. Actually, it doesn't matter. You need the table. I just wait. I roll. Is it a
I
D20
I
or is
don't.
it
I think it's a D20. Let's
I?
let us find the. Okay, turning undead.
Let's see.
Blah blah blah. When encountering undead, a priest or paladin can attempt to turn creatures. Remember, the paladin turns undead as if each level is lower. Only one attempt can be made per character per encounter, but several different characters may make attempts at the same time. Turning to turn dead counts as an action, requiring one round and occurring on the character's initiative order. The mere presence of a character is not enough. A touch of drama from the character is important. Ryan, can you give us some drama?
That's what that was. It was like I'm not going to go down there. No, you go down in the hold. And I brandish my holy symbol, and yeah.
Um,
In
Turning
the
is not like
name of
spellcasting
Bellum,
and is not
no.
interrupted if the character is attacked during the attempt, which means that
Oh,
spellcasting is interrupted by attacks, guys, and it's somewhere in this book, and I just can't find it.
really? You can't? I can
I
totally. I'll
can't
find
find
that
it.
for you in a second. It's
Okay.
under. I think it's in the spellcasting chapter.
Okay, well, give
Anyways,
me a d20.
come on, 15. It's not bad. So
You are
he
level
is.
1.
I'm level 1. So that will go
That will turn zombies and
zombies
anything.
or skeletons. So 1 or 2 hit die.
Right.
So maybe some of the other ghosts flee in terror, but this guy's probably not.
But how many
Intimidated.
H hit dice worth of creatures do you clear?
I think it's 2d6.
Is
It
it
says somewhere in
2 to 6
there.
individuals?
Two d
Yeah, it's
six
just.
individuals, up to 2 hit die. So,
Where's the
so probably starting with the
2d6?
lowest. So 8.
Yeah, I just don't. Where's the. I don't see where it says you roll 2d6.
It's in the paragraph directly beneath the table in italics. That first
Oh,
paragraph
yes, I
on
see it. I
page
see it.
137.
Yes. I need to take a look at some.
It's really hard to add a touch of theatrics when you're like consulting rules and like
Yeah.
jumping in and out of character.
Okay. You see the sailors around the table start to yell and scream and flee. Wow, he is good. And they kind of vanish instead of like flickering in and out of existence. They like and then they're just gone. The table disappears as well. The lights in the barn dim a little bit, and the rich trappings of years past are not quite as visible. The captain squints at you and goes, "Fancy trick there, lassie, but you'll still be going down in the hold."
He seems unmoved by my awesome powers.
Mm-hmm. What do you do?
I approach the trapdoor, still brandishing my thwacking stick at the captain, and let go of my holy symbol with my left hand and reach down to pick up the trapdoor.
It picks up, and you proceed down. And as you pick it up, you actually notice coming out of the ground is like a spare piece of rope that you hadn't noticed before. And you grab that, and you actually lift this heavy trapdoor, and all this dirt slides off of it as it opens to the side.
I'm guessing this is where the beleaguered men keep their treasure. Now, at least.
Okay.
Can I see anything down the trapdoor?
It is. Hey everybody, we are back. Sorry about that slight stream issue. Sharks, but whatever. We're here. Everything's fine, dandy.
Well, while you were away, I convinced Neil to let me make another Command Undead check, so now I am leading this pirate crew of ghost pirates.
What actually happened while we were away is we decided that Nose Dodo is absolutely right, and we need a command that you can ping Neilbot with that will tell you the last time the stream had a problem, and then it will say this stream has gone X days without any accidents.
It doesn't even need to be that complicated. It could just read the stream has gone 0 days without an accident.
No, it should have an actual counter, and any mod should be able to be like accident and then reset the counter, but the counter should automatically, like every 24 hours, it will increment 1 day, and then if there's a problem, a mod can kill it and say, reset it to 0. NECA, if you're around right now, we need this done, buddy. And if you're not, I guess I will have to send you an email. Or maybe someone can put something like that in a mod chat right now.
All right, so back to it. I scared off some of the lesser...
Can anyone else see? People are saying stream over. Is it live for other people? Are we crazy? Oh no, people are pinging NECA. They must hear me.
Delay.
Awesome. Okay, just this stream delay.
Okay, so I have successfully dispelled some of the lesser ghost pirates, but the captain is unfazed by my powers and is still prodding me towards the brig. I lifted the trapdoor and saw only darkness below. Is it a staircase or a ladder?
It is a staircase. As I said before, darkness below. But the pirate grabs a lantern, like a ghostly, invisible lantern off a ledge, and kind of like reaches out to hand it to you.
All right. So I guess I will back down the staircase, curious to see what's below, and only kind of afraid of Ghost Captain Dragonfly.
Mm-hmm. All right, you head down. Down you go. It is a dirty stone passageway that you enter into, inches, well, not inches, but like centimeters thick in dust and dirt. You look at the ground, no one has been down here. If the beleaguered men use this passageway or hide anything down here, they throw fresh dirt on the ground every time they come up. It looks completely abandoned.
I want my hammer. Ooh, there's probably a hammer upstairs, but I've probably got a captain bearing down on me, don't I?
Yeah, you do. The captain follows you down, and you go down this passage that's maybe 10 feet long.
Is it pitch black?
No, you have a ghost lantern that the captain handed you.
Oh, okay.
It glows, and you kind of feel it in your hand, but you don't feel any weight with it. It's this weird, you're semi-interfacing with a different realm. Somehow the astral plane and the prime materia plane are crossing, or the negative energy
Ethereal.
plane,
I don't
the
know.
ethereal plane, and the prime material plane are interfacing.
Or Felumbra. I don't know. This is your world.
Yeah. Uh, the stone passageway goes for about 10 feet into something that's clearly like outside of where the barn would be, and that's back in the direction of the lake. Um, and then ends with a wooden door, kind of like a rotting wooden door.
I turn to look at the captain.
He gestures with his swashbuckler sword.
I take my thwacking stick and prod the door open if I
It
can, or just
and you step into a room, a very very large room. Um, you're only actually like there's probably only 3 or 4 feet of dirt above you, but this room is much bigger. This room is actually like 40 feet high. It's actually a huge limestone cave.
am
And
I
as you enter into the
imagining?
room, the ghost light from your lantern just fills the entire room. So you don't like need to use your lantern to do anything. It contains the whole room. The room is like, as I said, like 30 feet high, 40 feet wide, maybe 50 feet deep. And out on the other side, you see, like out on the back end of the cave, you see the lake, and you see the stars starting to come out.
I look around. Are there like trees to my sides?
No, you're on the inside of a large limestone cave.
Cave.
There's no trees anywhere, but there is a very large boat. I mean, some might call it a ship, sitting out in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of the cave because the water does come in. And there is a small pier off to one side that has a gangplank that leads up to the ghostly ship.
I approach the pier
Okay.
and inspect the cavern. Is there the water comes up into the cavern,
Mm-hmm.
waves lapping against the rocks?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm. Is it just me and the captain, or do I see any other ghosts about?
It's just you and the captain.
Does
You
the
you
boat
do
look?
look. Mhm.
Does the ship look new and in good condition, or does it look like a ghost ship?
It looks
Translation.
old and rotting and kind of falling apart.
But it looks real. It doesn't look ethereal.
Correct.
Okay. I approach the ghost ship.
Okay, you get out onto
Here.
the pier, and the pier is just like rotted and falling apart. There's an part of it is like ethereal, and there the gangplank is absolutely ethereal, but the real part of it is not like it doesn't make it all the way to the ship. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you can walk on the ethereal stuff, you'll be fine. But if you can't walk on the ethereal stuff, you're gonna like put a foot through a board and like land in the water.
I prod the ethereal stuff with my thwacking stick. Does it feel solid?
No.
I like try to put a foot to put a toe through it.
Your foot just goes right through down to the chilly waters below.
Well then, fuck it. I can swim. I go into the water. If it's deep enough to dive, I'll just dive off the pier. Otherwise, I
No, I
will
mean at this
step
point, like
in.
the pier is, the water's like 6 inches deep. The
Okay,
pier's
so
like
I'll
going
step into the
out.
water
Okay.
and start wading in the water.
All right. You step into the water, and the captain goes, "Arr!" and goes to slash at you with his sword. Um,
Initiative, I guess.
he got a, surprise attack
Surprise
on you.
round.
Yeah. The blade goes wide and completely misses you, and now we roll for initiative.
9.
Ooh, Captain goes first. He gives another slash at you with his ghost sword, and it goes right to your neck, and then passes through you, and the captain disappears. The ghostly light in the room starts to fade, 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 and then vanishes. And now you are stuck in pitch blackness.
There
Up
should
to
still be some
your
starlight, correct?
there's some starlight, but you're in a cave. You're like
Yeah.
40 feet into a cave, so it's pretty dark.
Is
But
the
you're
ship
up to
still
your
there?
the ship is still there. All the non-ethereal stuff is still there, but you're up to your kneecaps in chilly water.
I'll wade back onto the shore and
Okay.
have a seat.
You are seated.
Um, so I think I want to wait until light. So I'll probably just spend the night in this cavern. Um, yeah, you said the ship is still there,
The ship is still there, creaking in the
floating,
water
creaking.
as it slowly moves from side to side.
Yeah. So I watch the ship creak and waft and watch the stars. Do any ghosts return? I probably
Nope.
remove my wet shoes and socks and
Yeah, yeah.
eventually doze off to sleep on
Okay.
this rocky cave.
You pass out. Morning comes. You are awakened as the. God, you'd be looking south, so you're awakened as the sky starts to brighten, but you never get any direct sunlight.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is the ship still there?
The ship is still there.
All right. Leaving my shoes on the shore, I think I'll dive into the water and swim out to the ship.
Okay. You swim out to the ship. The water is chilly. It is nice, cold lake water that is run off from the mountains, which is all snowmelt. So it is like cold as balls lake.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm used to it though.
are you
Grew up
wearing armor?
swimming.
No,
I
you're
know.
no.
I am unarmed and unarmored.
All right, you make it out to the ship, and you can grab hold of the hull, but there's no netting that goes up into the ship.
How high is it to the deck?
The deck is a good 6 feet off the water.
Oh, that's not bad at all. I'll attempt to climb it if I can. What's the default climb for a peon? I believe it's listed somewhere. I
Yes,
don't know
it's
if you.
under time and movement. I think it's chapter 14. Swimming, movement, jogging, swimming, cross country, climbing. Calculating success. Table 65.
40% plus or minus penalties.
Unskilled climber. Seriously, thieves
So,
only actually have like a 10% climbing bonus.
and then they can increase that with levels.
Yeah, but their base climbing bonus is only 10% higher than non-thieves. Is interesting. Okay, so 40
But
plus.
thieves also get bonuses for race and for dexterity,
Mhm.
which other classes don't, I don't think.
Okay, so you're not in armor. There's no rope and
Oh no,
wall.
actually
There's
the
no
racial
button and handholds.
huh, there's racial penalties even for non.
Oh, look at that. I'm gonna
So
say the surface is slightly
like
slippery because there's moss and stuff growing all over it, and it's kind
uh-huh.
of moldy and gross. So that's a minus
So
25%,
so
and
okay,
it is kind of
15%.
bowed outward, but at the same time there's some like grips in between the planks. So I'm gonna say the two of those counteract each other. So
So
just
I've got
minus
like a
25.
15% chance.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to do to
Yeah.
climb up onto a ship.
So I probably flail up and fall back into the water.
Yeah.
I'll swim around in this freezing cold water to see if I can find a rope hanging
Uh,
off.
You see rotted remains of ropes on the deck, but none of them reach into the water. No, that's not true. There is a single rope that hangs
Or
down.
what about it, the anchor chain?
Yeah, well, it's a rope for this. There's no chain, but there
Okay.
is a single rope that dangles down into the water, and you
Give it a
find
tug.
purchase like it's not too deep at this point. So when you're like treading water, your feet brush across the surface of an anchor.
Is it still intact, the rope?
The rope is still intact, but it doesn't look that like it looks rotted. It might you don't know if it'll hold the weight of a person after all these years, but it has kept the boat in place. So you can make that judgment call for yourself.
So will that give me the plus 55% chance? Can I make a check again, even though I'm not sure if I normally can?
Yeah, because you can make a check if there's a different situation appears.
Really?
Um, so the anchor you don't actually have you have a rope but no wall.
Well, there's the wall of the ship.
But the anchor like hangs off the back. That's far enough
Mhm.
out that you, at least at the very initial climb, you just have to climb the rope itself. You wouldn't be able to touch the boat. But as you get like 5 feet, like once you're 5 feet out of the water, like where your water would be on floor, like on where your feet would be on the surface of the water, you should be able to kick them up, but not for the first bit.
Mhm.
So we'll do plus plus 40 for the rope, but the rope is also slightly slippery, so minus 25.
Yeah.
So
So a
40,
total of plus
40 is
15.
80, minus 25 is something. 55% chance?
55, yeah.
Nice.
21. If
So
the
you
rope doesn't
go
break.
hand over hand and you scale up this rope onto the deck of this ship. You are on the aft side of it,
Mhm.
and it is a nice big flat ship from fore to aft. There's a little tiny cabin uh, built. No, it's not a cabin. It's like a little staircase that is built down. So I guess the aft is a little bit higher. There's like a slight aft castle, but not very significant. Um, and there's a big pirate wheel or steering wheel at the back that you can spin with, but it doesn't look like there's any sails. There's no masts or anything. It's all powered by oars. So you look down this staircase and can see into the hold where you'd have sailors rowing.
Is there? You said there is or there isn't an aft castle, like a
It's
cabin in the
slight.
back.
It's maybe like a 4 foot aft castle, so you have to like go down a staircase into this back section.
Well, there's only the one staircase, right?
There's the one that goes into this back section, and then there's a different staircase that goes down into the hold that's on the surface.
I will go into the aft castle.
Okay.
That staircase.
You head back down into the aft castle, and it starts to. Um, no, I lied. It does nothing. You enter into this room, and it is old and kind of crumbled and falling apart. There's still papers about. There's still everything that this place would have been, and all the glass is intact. There's like a lantern with some glass on it. There's pens and ink and quills. All of the ink's all like dried up and useless now. There's parchment that has been rolled out. There's a map of Lake Shimmerstone and the markings of the surrounding towns and whatnot. There's a couple of charts that show positions of rocks and things. And on one of the charts, as you're perusing through all of this, you notice some like roughly in the middle of the lake there is a spiral drawn.
Mm-hmm. Is this in good enough condition to pick up and take away?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll roll this map up.
Yeah, it's dusty and it creaks and cracks a little bit, but it holds. As long as you just roll it and unroll it, it should be fine. But if you were to like beat something with it, if you were to use it to like, hit your dog for pissing in the house, it would probably break on you.
Or more likely, hit that silly cat.
Maybe.
All right. Well, if I ever see that bastard Pringle again, may have a good bargaining chip. I'm going to rifle through the rest of the maps. Do I see any other interesting markings on the map of Shimmerstone Lake? Like anything that I wouldn't expect? Like, so there are the two towns on the lake that I should see. Do I probably see a marking where this cave is?
Yes, there is a little. There's a little pier out kind of on the north side of the lake, maybe, I don't know, 30 miles to the west of the river that leads in.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
There is one other marking. On the south side, maybe 30 miles to the east of where the river exits Shimmerstone Lake, there is an X.
Treasure maps. Is this the same map with the whirlpool?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. Well, I'll rifle through the rest of the papers. See if any other
They're old documents. They read about supplies, shipments coming in here and there, messages that seem to have been intercepted from other people. They talk about names you don't know, kings that have long dead and been forgotten. They mention towns that you don't know. Maybe the town's been renamed, or maybe the town's been destroyed, or I don't know. There's towns that you've never heard of. There are a couple of towns that you have, though. Trensgar is mentioned a few times in these things, but they're all like, you know, message from Trensgar, blah 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 blah. But it doesn't really, without context, it's just messages between various people, and none of it really makes too much sense.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll take a look in the drawers. Are there any valuables or anything in there? Desk drawers.
The right side desk drawer has a a steel dagger in it.
Sure. I'll take that. Is it in good condition or is it rusted?
It's pretty dark down in this hole, hard to tell, but it seems decent condition, decent enough. You know, there's no obvious rust on it, but you can't get a good look at it in the darkness of this building.
All right. I'll stick that on my belt. I don't even have my thwacking stick right now.
No, you got nothing.
All right. Is there any other door from this room?
Just
So there's the staircase
there's
in.
a staircase that comes in, and that's it. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna poke around a bit. Maybe poke under floorboards. See if I can find this treasure chest. I'm gonna roll any.
Give me a perception check.
My perception is so shitty. 25.
25. You search around the floorboards, but everything squeaks and everything moves, and you lift up one floorboard, and like there's just, you know, there's the hole below, or a different chamber down below you, but it doesn't look like a secret chamber. It looks like you're actually just ripping up the floorboard to the level below. And you try and put it down as best as you can, and you don't find any treasure.
Okay, well, I think I'm content in my search of this room, so I will head back to the top deck.
Okay.
I'll take a peek down the hold.
It seems pretty empty. There's areas where people would row. There are oars that have been pulled into the ship, but everything seems to be kind of rotted and falling apart. You don't see any remains of any people. Whatever happened to the crew, they did not die on the ship. Or if they did, their bones have since been moved. Or moved of their own accord.
Yeah. All right, so I'll probably walk the length of the hold.
Okay.
Look for any supplies or anything, and then resurface.
You see a bunch of oars. You see some old rope. You see some cloth here and there.
No boxes or anything.
No.
Crates.
No. At the very, very back, or front, I guess. At the very front, there are a couple of boxes, but their tops have been ripped open, and there's nothing inside. Maybe some the remains of some apples that may really dried. I guess after 100 years, even apples would have been just completely gone. Yeah. No, just everything's empty. Looks deserted.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I will head to the top deck once again.
Okay, you head back out to the top.
I'm gonna head to the. So which way is the boat parked in here? Is
the boat is facing the
port?
exit.
Okay, so I'll go to the rear of the ship. Is that the?
Okay, that's where the anchor was, which is the aft of the ship. That's also the direction.
How deep was the water at the back of the ship?
You could stand on the anchor, and the water would come up to your throat. So it's probably like eyebrow or maybe overhead. You could jump from up here, but you wouldn't want to dive unless you did a shallow dive.
There's no rowboats anywhere on the deck.
No. But you did see a rowboat, a broken rowboat, like whose hull had a hole in it. That was kind of dragged onto the area near where the dock was.
All right. And the rope down below deck was probably not in good enough condition to still be rope-like.
I mean, it's in better condition than the rope holding the anchor.
All right, so I'll go gather that rope
Hmm.
and tie it to the ship itself, like maybe the railing or something like that.
Yeah, there's pegs to
And
tie ropes too.
yeah,
It's
and
intended for that.
and hold onto that as I climb back over the aft of the
Yeah.
ship.
You,
I'm gonna hold my map in my hand and like over my head as
hmm
I'm like lowering myself with my map in left hand and lower
hmm
myself with the rope and my feet braced against the side of the ship.
Okay. You
With
lower yourself back into the water, and you are chilled to the bone once more. But you manage to
and
keep
also with
the
I'll
map
keep the
dry.
map above water and swim with my feet and with my one hand and make my way back to shore.
Okay. You return to shore.
Um, I will strip out of my wet clothes
Hmm.
and let chat just visualize that for a minute or two.
Oh,
And I'll
because
pick up my
Lady Varissa strips out of her clothes.
yeah,
Yes.
and pick up my wet boots and my wet clothes and tuck my wet belongings under my arm, holding the map.
What do you do with the rope?
And
You just leave it hanging in the
oh,
water?
I left it tied to this. Yeah, it's fine.
I mean,
Tied hanging off the side of the boat.
okay. Cool.
So it's like it's still like attached to the top of the boat and just draping over into the water.
Okay.
I pick up my trusty thwacking stick
Hmm.
and make my way back up the staircase. Wait, it wasn't a staircase, was it? Yes, it was a hallway. I back down the hallway
Hmm.
and up the staircase.
Okay. As you get to the staircase, you hear voices above you.
Well, now I'm gonna need some clothes.
And they're just saying, "Where the hell did that cart go? I don't know. Where was here? Do you think he took it? No, no, no. Hey, wait a minute. What the hell's that?" And then
Okay,
you
I
hear
wring out
some
my clothes quickly and start putting them
like
back on.
the sound of pounding feet all over the trapdoor, which is closed.
Mm-hmm. All right. So as soon as I wring out my clothes and pull them back on.
All right.
Um,
As you got your, I take it you're doing pants first, so your pants are like halfway up, coming over your booty, as
mhm.
the trap door opens and light shines down inside.
Okay, so
And
I step off to the side of the passageway.
I mean, it's a straight passageway, so like there, even if you
It's
step
like
to
a
the side,
cavern. It opens to a cavern, right?
yeah. But you at this point you had like already walked in. You were like at the staircase when you heard these noises. So you're
Oh,
like
okay.
directly, you're just below the trapdoor, like getting dressed.
Okay.
So
Sure,
you're
whatever.
you're
I
pulling your
leave my
pants
pants
up.
unbuckled and I pull my tunic on.
Okay,
Like
but
a normal
as you're
suit.
pulling your, the door opens, you go scramble for your tunic, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
couple of like, "What the?" followed by a whistle from one of the guys above, as you see
Yeah.
Holden, the big kind of like bumbling oaf, and Zed,
Mm-hmm.
the man who you first met in town, who led you to the Bliggard Men.
Yeah, yeah, boys. Enjoy the view, and I continue getting dressed. Actually, I make my way up the staircase and sort of brush past them.
They look down at the staircase and look back at you and goes, What the hell is this place?"
Oh, come on, follow me, and I sort of gesture them down the staircase.
Okay, they follow you down, kind of eyes wide with amazement.
I say
Uh,
it seems this barn was uh, the old hideaway for Captain what's from a fuzzit of the Dragonfly.
The Dragonfly? That
And
old ghost story?
as we step into the chamber, I gesture to the decrepit ship.
They
Wafting.
they look eyes wide and like, "What? But there's no cave out on the cove," and one of them like walks back up the staircase and then walks back down into the cave. He's like, "But there's no hill here either. Where the hell are we?"
I shrug. In any case, what's his name? That old man Pringle did get his cart back.
Who?
The wizard, the cat.
They shake their heads as if they don't know who you're talking about. They weren't there for that. Oh.
Where's Falstaff? I say.
He's back at camp. He's been wounded.
How far are we from there?
Without horses, we're about a day's walk from there.
Let's get leaving now. I'll explain everything to him.
Okay.
Where was? Okay, I asked how was he wounded?
Tried to rob another cart. It was another ambush.
Seriously?
Hmm.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay.
So I
They
finished
lead
getting
you
my boots
back.
on.
You get all dressed. You're still kind of sopping wet the whole day, and just kind of like mushing
Yeah.
as you
Do they
go.
have any food with them?
Yeah, they have some food. They share it with you, but it's
All right.
pretty bare.
I
Actually,
have.
I
I
don't.
don't
I
have.
take that back. Holden is with
It's
you.
bear.
He brings
But my
lots of
my
food.
my food is literally bear.
Yeah.
Bear food. So whatever they got's better than mine.
Okay.
Um, and after the view that I gave them, I think it's the least they can do to share it with me.
Yeah.
Um, do they ask? So I started trying to explain like the cart and Pringle, and they were like, "Who? What?"
Who?
And do
Yeah.
they bring it up again? I don't care to
No,
lay it
if you
out.
say,
So,
I'll explain it to him. They just shrug and go with it.
right.
Yeah.
Um, I would like to inspect the dagger as we're walking back and try and dry it off if I can, because I took a jump in
Yeah. You take a look
the
at the
water.
dagger, and it appears to be in remarkable shape. The edge is nice and sharp to this day. As you're looking at it and like running your thumb across, you cut yourself slightly,
Who
like
the
no
fuck
damage,
runs their?
but
Why would I rub my thumb across?
not
Okay,
like
I guess
up
I'm.
and down the dagger. But you're like, wow, this looks pretty sharp, and you just like do a quick flick across the
Mhm.
side of the blade and cut yourself.
Does not okay. I mean, I'll allow it because my character is probably never handled, hasn't, doesn't have a lot of experience handling blades, but whatever.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. I stick it back on my belt, and we make our way back to camp. We
Excellent.
encounter. So who you said it's
Holden and
Holden,
Zed.
Zed, just two.
Just the two of them.
Oh.
Is there anything you'd like to ask them or talk to them about?
I'll get a general update. Is there anything crazy? Like, so I assume did Brandon make it back from the town?
Yeah, he made it back, but he left yesterday
Mm-hmm.
to go back to whatever it's called to go find you
Mm-hmm. He was gonna meet
to
me at the
Darden.
rock. No, he was gonna meet me at the rock if I didn't make it back to
Oh
HQ.
yeah. He's headed back to the Rock to go check up on you. He should
Mm-hmm.
be back in the camp by the time they get back though, because it's a half day. It's a day away.
Yeah. Um. So unless they, I mean, I assume they would tell me if like
Uh,
knights are raiding the forest and hunting us down.
uh,
Seems like it's pretty much business as
no,
usual.
it seems that the merchants have been hiring escorts lately.
Mm-hmm.
Still not quite enough to. I mean, the beleaguered men still outnumber the escorts, so it's not that big of a deal for you guys yet. Oh, we also need to stop the creepy music.
Forest music.
Sadly, there's no such thing. No such thing as forest music. Um, Maybe this will do instead. But the time where what's Falstat got injured was actually a another one of those like people coming down with a wagon and soldiers jump out of the back situation. Except instead of just like shitty archers and swordsmen, the guy running the wagon was the captain, not the captain of the guard, but a sergeant from fuck, what the fuck is his name? Where is it? Darden, a sergeant from Darden, and with him was a couple of more elite soldiers. They looked to be personal escorts of the one of the lords in Darden. Um, the fight was pretty rough, and a few more beleaguered men have died.
Really? So we're gonna be down to like how many did it start with? There was like
You started with one, two, three, four,
eight.
five. You started with 15, and now
Mm-hmm.
you're down to Brandon, Rich, Zed, Holden, Falstat, and four more. So you're down to uh, 9 people out of the original 15.
Not going well since I showed up.
They shake their heads. There's actually been some talk of calling it quits. It's getting a little deadly here, and rather have my hide and no money than money and no hide.
How much more do you estimate before you're paid back?
They kind of exchange glances. I don't know. I wasn't counting. We were just trusted Falstad to lead us.
Hmm. Did Brandon tell you what they did to what's his name?
They nod. Yeah, it's real unfortunate. Like,
Unfortunate. It's appalling.
well, I mean,
These
those things happen.
torture happens.
You've never been in war, have you? Brandon used to be like the torturer of our unit. He's the interrogator. You got to get information out of people somehow, and a lot of people stick to their convictions, and a little bit of pain helps bring it out in them. It's just part of everyday life, and it's shitty, but
These are peace times. These are town guards.
peace times. 6 of our men are dead. I don't think those are peaceful times.
No, you're right.
Okay, if there's nothing else you guys
Could we
want to
make
say,
it back?
you keep
Yeah, do we make
walking.
it back to HQ
Hmm.
unmolested?
You do.
This maybe seems like a good spot to wrap up. What do we
I
think?
think so. I think this is a great spot to wrap up Dicing with Death, and then we should hop into. We'll break and come back and do character making for shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. The shenanigans
Experience.
house.
Let's level me up.
Okay. Let's see.
If we're lucky. I guess I didn't actually fight anything, did I?
No, no. It was a
Just keep
less
waiting
eventful
for roll
session than
20.
last. But let's see. What did you do? You left the body by the house with a note. That's pretty
Mhm.
ballsy and brave of you guys. So I'll give you 100 experience for the corpse laying. You let's see your interactions with Pringle exiting the
Escape the
city weren't.
city.
I mean, you escaped the city, but you kind of relied on Pringle to get you out. So no experience for that.
Excuse me, Pringle gets no credit for that. That was all Safi.
Uh, well, you relied on Pringle and Safi to get out, so no experience for there. Dealing with the
The
fisherman
women one.
was pretty simple, but it was that'll give you 50 for that. Um, Bear stuff, you mostly fled and again relied on Pringle and Safi, but you did come back for Pringle when you could have left him for dead. For saving
The
his
line.
life,
Yeah.
I'll give you 75.
Safi defeat. Wait, hold on. Safi defeated the bear, so I deserve a third of the bear,
Okay, you deserve a third of the bear.
which is probably something like 75.
Yeah, so let's just make that 150 for saving and defeating the bear. Or
Let's
saving
come
Pringle and
to
defeating the bear.
300.
Um, and let's see. You made it to the
So the
building.
ghost.
You got screwed. The whole ghost interaction was pretty fucking eventful. I'll give you.
I did turn. I did actually
Oh,
that
you
there
turned
were
undead.
eight
Yeah.
undead that I turned. So that's
Okay.
8 times 35 or something.
I will give
And that
you
seems like a good way to do.
150 experience for invoking the powers of your god to turn away the undead creatures.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
And
and
then
then I'll
anything
give you
else for the
another
ghost.
300 for the discovery of the ship and the investigation thereof.
Nice. So that
Um,
comes to 750.
yeah,
Probably more than I deserve for not killing anything. All right.
yeah,
So we got.
but I'd like to move through some of these levels a little bit more quickly.
Yeah. So that brings me to 1900, which is enough to bring me to level 2.
Excellent.
Let's go ahead and roll for HP.
Come on, big money.
6. I'll take it.
6? It has not shown
Yeah,
up for us. There it is. Okay, and you get one more spell per day,
I do indeed.
and no bonuses to hit. You get a +1 to hit at next level.
Hmm.
Um, No other powers to speak of. No weapon or non-weapon proficiencies.
Oh, I think that's it.
I think that's it. Coolio.
Doing
So
maths on my HP.
this will
Did I
be
gain an HP for the sleeping in the rocks in the cave?
yeah, you do.
Okay.
And that's that. So we're gonna end Dicing with Death. We're gonna go to a break, and when we come back, we will be doing character making for the shenanigans.
So stay tuned if you're watching the Twitch VODs. And if not,
See you guys
watch
later.
Shenanigans on YouTube.
Yeah, the shenanigans will be this Sunday or Monday if you live in Vietnam. So see you guys later. Bye bye.